Let's talk about the comps going in here.
No, we don't.
Really interesting comp here from Sabine. Yeah, we do. Really interesting comp here from Sabine coming in that Flagellant, the Shield Breaker, Grave Robber, really heavy DOT, both AoE and single target here. J-Man's backline in particular going to be very, very, very threatened. Here we go. You see this, Mike. What an incredible, incredible lineup we've got here.
Yep.
If J-Man can get those riposts from his Abomination correctly, maybe he can shut down the Shield Breaker's AoE blight.
Yeah, there's a lot of DOT action both sides, right? We have the Shield Breaker, the Flagellant, and the Grave Robber, all able to deal a lot of stress and a lot of just DOTs. And this Arbalest, like, I feel like she's mostly here to support. Like, he goes for a lunge with the Grave Robber.
I love that. I was just about to say to you, do you know what I would do? Lunge, sniper shot, and then from there you can punish, you can maybe even hit him in the back row if he moves back, anything like that. You can maybe even get a kill first time. Really start to pressure the Abomination, because it's the Abomination you need to worry about. If he gets off both of his transforms, you know, that's not good for you. If you can kill him before he gets off that second transform, that dodge is
wow, that's
20%,
annoying.
20%, Mike.
Unlikely. It does in the end go through though, so that's just what we're working with. This is the reality now, guys. This is our life if we are ZAPINE. If we have 135 Jamin, this is a very happy life, by the way, because this means he loses there's a lot of momentum lost. This is kind of the disadvantage of going fast. Sometimes you just miss those attacks, but twice in a row.
Again, that was
very
18%,
unfortunate.
18% here. So we're basically talking about 15% if we're average, 15% in a row. That is remarkably unlucky for ZAPINE right now. Reducing almost all of his strategy here. He went on a risk here, I would say, to try and push down that Abomination. Missing twice in a row here. Finally hitting with that punish. The bleed does land here, but quite frankly, won't be enough to put him on death's door right now. He's choosing to transform rather than Beast Bite.
That's safety for him, right? You move to the first. This means you kind of avoid at least the Arbalest damage. So you have to finish this kill with a lunge, but he raids.
Just to attack, put on pressure here. What I think the J-Man understands is that he is being pressured heavily with this Abomination. He needs to transform now. He's got this. He doesn't actually have the trinket that applies stress on melee hits.
We're one lunge away from a kill, though. This is just a lunge and a kill, unless he guards this right away. He probably has, so he can just transform into Absolution, obviously, right?
Shield Breaker goes right through guard, brother.
Oh yeah, that's
true. You want to transform and you want to Absolution.
Yeah, see, I would have died here if I would have just died here. So he drops Absolution indeed. This kind of salvages the situation temporarily for him, but obviously, like, he has a lot of DOTs just kind of popping on the side of ZAPINE here, so he is kind of okay with just maybe using this character as a sacrificial lamb here. Probably this, you know, he is not long for this world. You have to believe this. Abomination is just gonna drop eventually.
For the Grave Robber as well, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that might have set the coat. I think that has something to do with bypassing guard.
Yeah, but you have to be stealth to do this, so it doesn't work here. That's my thing. This code is my
still potentially a lot of this defensive gameplay, both from the man-at-arms and the guard dog here, can be shut down. Because really, you do want to be using that stealth. You've got a very heavy movement team here. You see, moving back now able to stealth here. That stealth can go through with a 20% extra death blow chance just on the lunge alone. Might get the kill. If he doesn't want to do that, he can lunge at someone else, and probably with a crit will definitely do enough damage to get them down to 0, straight into death's door.
So there's really, no lunge though.
After the Shadow Fade, brother.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. But it's gonna take like 2 turns ahead right now. So looking at this current situation, I think it's just kind of okay for Jamin, honestly. He is going to survive this probably, and
I think he'll survive this, but ZAPINE now is in the kind of the gas pedal position. Although his team's slowly being whittled down, he's been given the opportunity, as he did there, to try and apply a DOT. Didn't quite work. Not taking the hemlock on this Flagellant, really not too great for him as it happens.
Yeah,
taking so much DOT damage now. The ZAPINE really, I think, needs to try and either kill the Abomination or get someone else. Go for it. Break the guard. Try and get it. He doesn't get it there.
Yeah, I mean, if you go against this much guard, you can just kind of assume you should probably take the finisher on the Shield Breaker. I guess this would be like a better trinket choice overall. But look at the Shield Breaker, by the way. She took so much damage for just being in this fight. She hasn't been, like, you know, focused at all. She took a single rake, I think, and that's about it. By the way, she has super high dodge. It's kind of surprising to see the shield break on such low HP.
You see a launcher, that does get it.
It's so late, however. Like, look at the HP bars he has. He's almost dead across the board. Obviously, this Flagellant is going to be able to heal now, so... I like the other pronunciation more. It's going to be you just have to live with
I believe, although it looks like a little bit on the face of it that he might have an advantage, every single character he picks for now is taking so much DOT. I think you want to exsanguinate that Man-at-Arms to really start. He instead chooses to redeem here. Big heals, admittedly, putting both of his military characters up to full health, but really, J-Man, these three characters now are at full health. ZAPINE, all of his team are looking a little bit battle-worn.
And the Sound Harry comes through again. This is gonna start breaking people so soon. And those DOTs mean that you probably don't even need to kill with that. You just can, you don't need to stress to kill. You can just actually kill people without stressing them right now. Those heals are quite big though. This Arbalest
really would
with
like
that
to
full
see
plate.
An illuminating flare there, brother. Don't you see 40%, 60% on some. Get that illuminating flare down. You do have a DOT heavy team, but still, eventually they're going to hit it to 0, especially that Blight AoE by the shield breaker. If he does eventually get into position, which it looks like he will be now with this shadow fade here.
Yeah,
I mean, really,
this trusty Grave Robber might just do enough damage here to somebody. I feel like you might just want to pull the Houndmaster first, and then you just go for this slam dunk with the Grave Robber. Obviously, you need to flare for this because you need to get like some sort of damage efficiency first. And those, he's on the clock. He's definitely on the clock here. And it's not comfortable even if this MAA and the Antiquarian stay alive. This is not a comfortable fight for Vito. Because you have no stance, you have no way of controlling the Antiquarian. She can just tag the heals. She can just keep stressing you. The MAA will just shout you to death. So it's really not a comfortable fight for ZAPINE to be taking at this point.
The issue, as you said there, the issue for ZAPINE there is that none of these targets really... all of them need to be kind of focused down. You see, the amount of stress you're taking, with the amount of health you are on, with these bleeds and DOTs you're taking, if you try and focus down the Man-at-Arms...
Oh, he passes! He just hesitated for too long, and he just kind of let the clock run out. That's very unfortunate, because this is basically the straw that breaks the camel's back here. I don't see this actually coming through for ZAPINE anymore. He needed that pull, he needed the follow-up lunge, he needed to remove the debuffs and just kill the doggo. It's not gonna work right. You're also punished with this Flagellant as well. Nothing of this sort works.
I'd say this is too late now. Using that now, the next time you pick Arbalest, we're going straight down. Some of these characters as well are going to be good. Oh,
yeah, double dodge as well.
Accuracy,
yeah,
91 accuracy there.
Yeah, he doesn't have that many good trinkets though. He's using the Snap defensively here, kind of afraid of the Abomination you have to feel. And this means that, it's just really not looking good for ZAPINE.
Mike? The Flagellant, the way you win Flagellant, ostensibly here, ZAPINE has the advantage. We often talk, some people do at least, about this kind of trifecta, the rock, paper, scissors of Darkest Dungeon, and DOT beats stress. It acts quicker than stress does, but right now, ZAPINE has been unable, or unwilling rather, to actually land those Rain of Sorrows on the backline. He's dodged an awful lot, which is so punishing for ZAPINE, but still, could have maybe taken Hemlock instead of the Gauntlet there. Something along those lines, maybe a Crown of Thorns to make sure he did actually land those hits. Because he's got no accuracy buffs in these teams. So...
you can try to take this down right now. You can shoot with the Arbalest, follow up with the Grave Robber.
She just hit herself. She just hit herself.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. So you hope for very high roll on damage here, probably. Okay, he actually heals this. No. Okay, I mean, he had to probably do this because he did have lower death blow resistance after hitting himself, right? So obviously, Houndscarry might have killed him. That's kind of the only good decision.
I think you needed to hit 13 there. I believe the ratio there is 6-5 to... Yeah, you wouldn't...
Look, he had 4 DOT there, so he only needed 9, because he has 9 HP now after his turn.
No, I meant with the sniper shot onto the Houndmaster there. He said choosing to heal himself. Only maybe you can take an Exsanguinate onto the Houndmaster.
Yeah, you have to probably do this. Yeah. It's so unlikely to connect, though. Look at this.
You do need
so little accuracy.
You're never going to win unless you kill him right now.
You have to do this, probably you do.
You're likely to hit it. Listen, if 60% means you're going to hit it, right?
Yeah, you just close your eyes and go for it, I think. If you're ZAPINE, you just close your freaking eyes. You pray to all gods alive, and you go for it. He
Instead
actually takes the
chooses to
risk.
punish. It has a higher base accuracy, but then
I mean, he snaps out the Houndmaster. Now this is a guaranteed kill of the launch, almost guaranteed. Like he has he has so much death blow. It's gonna be like 100-something%. He gets a clean 100% death blow here, and this is 2v4 that we kind of announced before. Honestly, not looking so bad for ZAPINE right now. If this Flagellant doesn't die now, he doesn't die. This is okay. He's alive in this fight.
He's good. He's good here.
He's Gucci.
The issue here would have been if he died, these bellows would have just completely rocked him out of the game here. But right now, if you can redeem, get a big crit off, maybe save you a couple turns on these bleeds and blights.
Yeah,
you can maybe take it over. Realistically, look at J-Man's team. He's got a full health Man-at-Arms and a full health Antiquarian.
Yeah.
Both of which are clutch stress characters.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right now, ZAPINE needs to pick one, focus them down, and really kill them. I'd say in 2 turns.
And it's so...
He does not have long left.
Yeah, it's so much stress. Look at those characters. They're like basically almost dead. Like they're about to start acting out. This is just going to accumulate a lot of shit. It's going to be
shoot now, don't you?
Yeah, it's just aggravating right now. He probably can't heal this even because I mean probably he was afraid of just dropping to 0 automatically from Blight. That's why he did this. But those are like consecutive act outs. Oh, that's very fortunate by the way for the man because he can actually now.
He's going to push forward here though. Watch him push forward.
Oh, whoa.
I was going to say that. Hey, that 127 versus 65 there, still a coin flip, 10% in his favor, but.
He shadow phase
that allows him to go back with the take cover. The shadow, I mean, we know
that's a lot of accuracy as well. Yeah, that's scary. But honestly, J-Man here.
It was 127 versus 65.
You hate to say that even, but I feel like the J-Man's comp still has an edge in this one because he has done so much stress right now.
Without a doubt.
It's just looking very grim for ZAPINE. Despite having that kill in the end on the Houndmaster, feels like this is just too little too late. I know I keep saying this. There's still a way for ZAPINE to win.
Isn't there? You've got stress and DOT. Because right now the DOTs are ticking them down to death's door, and that stress is going to heart attack them. That's the real power of these kind of hybrid stress DOT comps.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I've been in those situations, like, I was ZAPINE, I was J-Man, and honestly, I was able to lose both situations to some extent, so I feel like ZAPINE might just kind of drop the ball here, though. Like, it feels like he is slowly but inevitably falling behind the tempo in this game. Also, you know, this is kind of suboptimal for the man, because his Grave Robber dashing forward with the lunge will again set this Flagellant back to third, and that's again very unfortunate. He might just kind of go for the pick to the face though. Here,
I really want to see panic darts there. You need to start applying stress to. Can you hit rank 1 with panic darts? I'm not entirely sure. If not,
I think he can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
I mean,
you can't use them from rank 1. Oh, that's a death blow though. Okay, that's over.
It's brutal. ZAPINE. I mean, this perhaps is an issue with these teams where. Perhaps even with the playstyle where you don't accurately kind of stress across the board. You think if I kill one character, I'll have a 4v3 advantage. But that isn't an advantage if all of your team is dead and all of their team is on full health, right?
Yeah,
Maybe would have liked to have seen a little bit more target swapping, although the Rain of Sorrows were quite often dodged. And that was
no, there are no more redeems available. This is a very, very toast Grave Robber you have to feel, because is the MA going now? He's just gonna bellow, and she is done.
Mikefield, you said toast, brother, and all I can say to that is brown bread.
Yeah.
Cockney rhyming slang, obviously for dead. Look at him go down to death's door there. All this will take is one festering vapors. Get a lucky hit, 75%. He's landed it before, and he's right down.
Yeah, and I feel like the Flagellant doesn't kind of have the tools right now to take over the game. Like, you can see those. Maybe the Exsanguinate's kind of coming through, but not in this game. Yeah, also, you know, she just stands her back on her ally. This also does a lot of DOT.
Applying exactly enough blight to knock him down to death's door.
Also, 7 damage crit is very rough. Like, this MA has a lot of protection on top of the bellows that are stacked on ZAPINE's lineup, so it just
I believe pick to the face does go through protection, however. So that was simply 7 from the debuff we saw applied.
Oh,
big dodge there. Big dodge there.
Yeah, that's important. That's very important. But he like, I don't think like he has a way of winning this. So maybe Maybe the flagellant actually... Oh, there's a heal coming. That's actually very big for ZAPINE, because this might mean that, you know, his Grave Robber stays alive long enough to get the execute on the MAA. That's so important, actually. If he's able to just go back right now, Shadow Fade.
On Death's Door now.
Yeah, so this is bleed coming through as well. This is the MAA that is going to go to Death's Door inevitably for the remaining part of the fight. There's a finisher, by the way, on this Grave Robber. This heal from the Flagellant actually may have salvaged the game. This is not over yet. Looks like
this is the thing about in-depth Flagellant play, Mike, isn't it? When you get pushed down to Death's Door, boom, you heal everyone. That, thankfully, saving Grave Robber, especially...
He gets the death blow! He gets this game now!
ZAPINE has got this game. Can you believe it there?
No.
A single target damage actually coming to pay in spades there. All he needed was one dodge, and by God, you know he was owed it from the early dodges J-Man got against that Reign of Sorrows now. All he needs to do, and this is a big ask, quite frankly,
is kill
the Antiquarian.
Pass as well on top of... Oh, that's very... This was the last move he was gonna make, and he doesn't get it.
Oh, thank God he hits that. That is a brutal hit.
Yeah,
because right now, even when he uses his fade or take cover, whatever it's called, to get his death blow resistance back up, he's still going to be ticking down with that bleed damage.
Yeah.
So I think right now, I mean, Mike, Flagellant or Antiquarian, who wins it?
The important detail here is that first of all, he cannot exsanguinate this effectively. 36% hit chance, ridiculously low to actually get that through.
I punish him.
You can't exsanguinate now anyway. He has to just punish now, just hope. Maybe, or you exsanguinate the corpse, but you have no healing bonus right now. However, this corpse is gonna dissipate. So he probably just takes the only possible opportunity to do it now, and he just has to face the consequences. This is the last bit of healing this Flagellant gets. And you know, this Antiquarian can just take cover, sit back. Oh, yeah, she has it. I thought she didn't have it now. She can take cover, just sit back for a while and relax and chill for a while.
I would much rather have punished the Antiquarian there while he's still on the chance before she starts getting up at dodge and death blow resist.
He had to do it. I mean, this was just the only confident death blow he was gonna get, right? So the only confident Exsang. So obviously punishing himself, this is not a good sign. And again, like this dodges as well.
There we go.
Not very fortunate at all.
49% dodge chance there. So almost a pure coin flip. Not landing at that time. This Festering Vapors undoubtedly will. Hitting for one there. Also applying... Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there we go.
This comes down to a dice roll, man. This just comes down to a dice roll. But this is actually very good for ZAPINE. He has been able to salvage this situation to, you know, this game state right now. You can see. So it's actually not that bad. Like 41% chance to hit. It's kind of again. Close your eyes, do it, man. You have to do it now.
I think you punish. I'd punish. I'd punish that.
Let's go.
I think you take the 25% chance to hit you.
Yeah, I mean, the Antiquarian still has the fade again, like, so she is going to be able to kind of stay alive a bit longer just because of that. So this Flagellant as well, 75% death blow resistance, not that much left for the man. So that might be a killing blow though, 15% to kill, doesn't come through. And this is just going to be trade-off blows with the bonus from take cover from J-Man.
This is quite frankly the matchup of stress versus anti-stress. I've often said Flagellant is a single cut. Is he going to land? Oh, and another 45% now.
I don't understand J-Man there. He could have just easily taken cover. Just, you know, he could have actually done this twice to kind of make this rotation a bit more effective. The Flagellant just kills himself though. And this is game one going in favor of J-Man. I thought he had it. I thought he was actually going to be able to claw his way back into this, but he doesn't.
Literally 1 minute, okay, bro?
Sure, of course. So it is going to be J-Man taking game number one. I think he kind of strategically played this better as well, but it was RNG, like the basically coin toss that decided this one in the end. So kind of unfortunate, obviously, for our man here. But yeah, that's how it is sometimes in the circus, guys. That's how it is in the circus. You have to kind of... sorry, I'm messing things up. So, J-Man now not really able to use this composition again. So the old gods are gone. And this means ZAPINE down to his 3 comfort comps still he can take this Halo composition to the next game. You have to feel that this is what he's gonna do. And Jamin has this really ridiculous mark comp as well in store. So he might take the PD now, he might take the other composition. It's just up to the players to decide. This being said, we're just waiting for them to get ready. We're waiting for Sis to come back. I'm just gonna talk to the players. I feel like we had some other players who wanted to cast. And yeah, the guys are changing trinkets, they're making alterations to the strategies they can see from their opponents, and we're slowly moving on towards this conclusion of this series potentially, right? Because we have match point for ZAPINE, so he really needs to take this one. And ZAPINE goes into the matchup now. Is Jamin versus ZAPINE people game number 2 of the series. Really exciting to see this one come down to another best of 3. So let's go and see how this one pans out. And man, Jamin brings out the big guns today. He takes the huge, powerful mark composition into this matchup. So you have the Arbalist, we have the Musketeer, the Bounty Hunter, and the Houndmaster. If you are ZAPINE, also Jamin goes first, which means he gets this mark down before ZAPINE gets to react to this. You really need to stun the BH, you have to feel, right? This is the important, pivotal thing for your composition to do. And, you know, obviously both comes very, very bursty, very spiky in what they do. So it really comes down to this kind of 10-10 decision making, and basically to reactions that you kind of have to what your opponent is doing. You have quite a few options here. Obviously the Bellwar kill will prevent a lot of damage from coming through. Illuminating Flare, on the other hand, might have actually prevented the... Okay, I feel like we crashed again. But the Flare might have prevented... the mark from being executed upon, right? So there's another deal here. Like, I don't know what's happening here. I think we have to kind of respect the 10 order in this one. So we'll have to just kind of, if this crashes, we'll have to keep restarting until one of those players... okay, we're actually back. It uncrashed. Never mind. We're Gucci, guys. We're Gucci. So we get a crit on the mark. See, this is not enough, even with this ridiculously high protection buff. This is still not enough healing, and you have to feel like this Arbalest is just dead to rights, because this Houndmaster can easily finish the job here.
We are going to see Musketeer retain our 100% win rate, Mike, aren't we?
Yeah.
Can you believe this?
This is a big mistake by Jamin, though, because I don't think Houndmaster gets bonus chance to execute on marked targets, whereas the Arbalest does. And this means that he missed like a chance to get the kill there, like from the get-go. However, you have to believe, you know, this this BH of Jamin obviously does have a decent lead here.
Interesting. Maybe one of the strongest counters to this Halo mark comp is simply more marked damage here. Putting just a Musketeer instead of the Jester, absolutely critting from 100% every single time. If you pull in the Musketeer, the Arbalest pass.
I'd say passive ZAPINE just kind of takes too long to resolve his action here. It's looking really dire for the man right now, seriously, because he loses this, he's out of the tournament. He worked so hard to get here. Feels like you can't miss a 10 in a Mark versus Mark fight. This is just unacceptable. You just lose the game off the back of this play.
Mike, one of the most interesting things we've seen in all of these tournaments, especially these last two, is quite how many people think too hard and pass. I'm pretty sure I did it once.
Yeah, you did, I think. Adelbart passed so many times as well, right? It's kind of unfortunate for the man as well, but he won those games. Like, every time Adelbart actually was passing his stance, he was winning the games as well. I don't think this is going to be the case. He's going to be, like, probably Caltrops and execute as well. No, actually not a death. It was a death blow, so it is 3v4. And this Jester is nowhere near getting that kill there.
Probably one of the most difficult 3v4s to ever climb back in.
Yeah, no, it's virtually impossible.
Double mark teams, and also, although you have this Jester here, you don't have an Arbalest to take note of that mark damage to crit someone down into a range where Finale would be effective right now. So ZAPINE
Yeah, this is over. I feel like J-Man just takes the momentum in this game number 2. In a very decisive fashion, he just takes the game altogether. Like, you can't do anything with this. You can move the Jester forward, sure. Like, what does it accomplish for you if you have no damage sources at all? It just feels super bad for ZAPINE, but he just kind of... I feel like he just obviously went second, but he also could have kind of just tried to salvage the situation by stunning this BH, perhaps, or by just kind of going hard on damage using this Arbalest of his, just kind of match what J-Man brought to the table instead of just trying to out-heal a Mark comp, which is virtually impossible to do. So he just made a very serious misplay, obviously took a lot of crits to the face as well.
He's secure enough to use that guard dog, take the hit on the Houndmaster, really obviously inveterate play here, knowing that when you finish him against a stunned target, that is probably the only source of damage you have when the Arbalest is dead here. That's the kind of new Mark Arbalest combo. Unfortunately, not being moved in there is pretty brutal for ZAPINE, especially because if I go the hit on the Bounty Hunter for that, and that 21 hit is going to put him right down to desktop. That
Also, another thing, this kind of Bulwark of Light doesn't really have that much effect in this fight, because both the Arbalest and the Musketeer have trinkets that penetrate protection. So this, this bonus 20% doesn't quite accomplish anything for the lineup of ZAPINE. He would have been way better off stunning someone on J-Man's lineup, just going for the damage after all, just hoping maybe the 50-50 doesn't kill him in the end, just doing something productive with his turns, maybe even cleansing the flare. Cleansing the Mark would have been more beneficial for the Arbalest.
Quite frankly, Mike, this is with Bulwark, isn't it? Especially when you're in a Mark versus Mark team.
Yeah.
You need to get tempo. Tempo is this kind of ineffable concept that we often talk about, but really, what you've seen right now is J-Man just completely out-tempoing his opponent. ZAPINE is always on the back foot here, trying to get any advantage he can, trying to maybe heal when he can, but he just can't.
No, he can't.
Has free range to do whatever he wants. And tempo is basically another word for just control. How much control you have at the moment.
It's kind of the pressure you put on your opponent, right?
Exactly.
And like
pressure and control.
You kind of force your opponent to take certain actions just because you have the tempo advantage, and that's what we saw here right now. Like, I feel like ZAPINE kind of gave up to this. Like, he could have actually played this aggressive, which I feel like this is the only way of beating this comp, right? You just have to play super all in and just take over the Mark composition instead of trying to kind of play it slow. ZAPINE, there's another missed turn as well.
Yeah, very tilted. I mean, as you were saying here, the only way to ever take control of any kind, and that's a dead Bounty Hunter. ZAPINE here is completely out of the game. He's got no chance here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But realistically, against an Arbalest Mark team like this, especially with a Musketeer, you need to be forcing those two people at the back who can, without a doubt, take you from 100% health to 0% in one crit. You need to be forcing them to heal. And that isn't what ZAPINE did here. ZAPINE was on the back foot, forced to heal himself. And being forced to play defensively against a team as explosive as the J-Mans, you're just no luck.
This is kind of, I feel like ZAPINE just has no practice on this comp. This kind of shows here, like, he plays this as a default setup, you have to believe, right? Where, like, you just kind of assume you can play it, but actually it's kind of tricky to execute against specific comps of your opponents, against specifically this one here. I did win games a lot against Mark comps. If you just have to play forward, you have to take initiative, you have to take risks, and you will potentially take the game. But if you just play it too slow, you play kind of, you kind of let this kind of go, let the momentum go into your opponent's hand. This is just what happens. You have no way of coming back into this now.
Exactly. I mean, if this were a game of soccer or football, if you were to kick the ball to your opponent, you don't expect to score a goal, do you? And that's essentially what handing over tempo is like.
Yeah. It feels so hopeless for ZAPINE just because he messed up his opener, guys. The opening 10 in a fight like this is absolutely crucial. You get the stun through, you try to do damage, you have to respond to your opponent. You don't respond to your opponent.
Have you ever seen Jester in the first two ranks never finale into turn 5, Mike?
No, it's very unfortunate, but that's indeed
the
case.
Very rare performance we've seen here, quite frankly. Halo can't be defeated by a Musketeer. This is why I absolutely adore these tournament formats, Mike. I really do.
You can't allow a comp like this to, just kind of... You can't slow down a game against this. If you play a comp the Halo comp, right? There is no way in hell you can slow down the game. You have to just play forward, and try to demolish your opponent before they demolish you. This doesn't happen, and J-Man here takes a very decisive 2-0 victory.
Such a dominant team, though. I mean, the only person on that team that has any scratches on him really is the bounty hunter, though.
Yeah, and this means that in our bracket now we only have a single unknown, a single question mark, people, and it is the result of the game between Dino and Cetra. One of those guys will move to the best of 5 finals, and one of them will be eliminated as well, just like ZAPINE right now. Unfortunately for the men, this is all she wrote. ZAPINE is out, J-Man is in, reporting for duty in the grand finals of today. And unless he also secures the spot in the grand finals, because if you do get to the final here, you do secure a spot in the grand finals of the season, right? Which will happen after 4 tournaments. So J-Man is actually already safe. He made it all the way through the bracket. He smashes his way through Mizukin, through Isle of RNG, through ZAPINE. Now he gets it all the way to the final here. And we will just...
such a stacked Mikefield team, especially to see J-Man knock out my prediction, is remarkable. Everyone in this bracket needs to be congratulated, though, to be honest. Really, really impressive play we've seen so far.
So we're going to get Dino to stream, I think, because Dino's streams were very reliable altogether. And we're just going to get Dino versus Cetra on the way.
Mike, this is one of these games that I'm really, really looking forward to. It's so painful. I feel a little bit like watching, I don't know, like watching some of my friends fight in the UFC together.
Yeah, absolutely.
These guys, I consider kind of brothers in arms in our cause. And to see them go against each other, well, let's just consider it some unfriendly sparring.
Yeah,